You've got a great point. I do appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. My name is Bruce Dickey. Do appreciate you tuning in this morning. It's going to be a fun day. We're going to talk Civil War today, as well as actually a little bit of classical civilization for you, too. So, I mean, a little classic Civ back into the American history stuff. It's going to be a joy. We're talking today eventually here with Larry Kramer, and he's making a presentation Thursday night down at the Parsons Library here in Flora, and that should be a good time. Hopefully we won't give his entire presentation today, but I do look forward to this chat. This should be fun. It is Tuesday and April 4th. What is going on in and around the community today? It is, well, I guess it's April 3rd, isn't it? My bad.
It is the 3rd.
It is the 3rd. Okay. What's going on here in Flora? Actually, take that back. In Albany, the Carl Richland Memorial Hospital Auxiliary Society fundraiser is today from 8 o'clock to 4, and that'll be in the Hine Room over at by the front entrance to the hospital. Also today, the Better Breathers Club Support Group meeting, that also taking place over in Albany at the Carl Richland Memorial Hospital. That'll start at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And again, this evening, even had it last evening, again this evening in Salem, Timeless Truths for Truthless Times. That's what maybe Larry and I are going to get to. We're going to talk some truths, that is for sure. What are you looking for on television last night? I hope you enjoyed the basketball game. The first half was pretty close, but then second half, Villanova just killed it, and they knocked off Michigan by about 17 points. But on the television tonight, if you're interested in looking for something good, a lot of the kids today are into the Marvel comics, a lot of the adults into the Marvel comics. The Return of Legion is tonight. A lot of folks watch that. It's a kind of an X-Men adaptation. And also tonight on television, by the way, Legion's on FX. That'll be at 9 o'clock. Also tonight on ABC, it will be Roseanne. And The Last OG makes its premiere tonight, and that'll be on TBS. If you've been watching basketball, you've almost assuredly seen promos for The Last OG. That's the return of Tracy Morgan to television after his terrific and horrific car wreck with I believe his limousine or his tour bus was struck by a Walmart truck, and several years ago. So he's making his triumphant return to series television. Again, that's The Last OG. It's tonight on TBS at around 10:30. My guest today is Larry Kramer, and he and I were going to talk about the General Lewis B. Parsons. Where did I come up with Floyd?
Well, who knows?
Who knows is right. And Mr. Kramer and I will return here on Big Talk with Bruce Dickey right after these messages.
Heritage Woods of Flora offers cozy private apartments and personalized service plans for active seniors. Our affordable assisted lifestyle includes 3 meals every day, assistance with chores and medications, and a full calendar of social activities. At Heritage Woods, you can visit with friends, enjoy an evening of music, or play an afternoon of Wii bowling, all without leaving your home. We even have a beauty shop in-house. For more information, stop by 1003 West 4th Street or call Valerie at 618-662-4599.
Come see us at Anthony's Wild West in downtown Flora.
Enjoy salad, pizza, and pasta buffet 11 to 2 Monday through Saturday. Not hungry for pizza? Our menu features a variety of food for every taste.
Our dining room is large and spacious for 2 or a crowd. Let us help you host a private party in one of our banquet rooms. Visit the Fallout Shelter to have a drink with good friends. Then try your luck at one of our 5 gaming machines. See you soon in the Wild West.
At Wabash Communications, our goal is simple, to keep people connected. And today we are doing just that, better than ever, by delivering the latest technology and personal service only a local provider can offer. We offer services anywhere from fast, reliable internet, TV services, and home monitoring solutions to crystal clear local and long-distance phone service. Wabash continues the commitment we started back in 1952, delivering a great connection to the most important people we know, our customers. So choose Wabash, the local service from people you can trust.
I'm Brian. I was in the military for 18 years. I joined the service so I could serve my country and see the world. But I smoked, and I got heart disease. So a lot of the world I got to see looked like this. My tip is, it's hard to serve your country when you're too weak to put on your uniform.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
Welcome to Clay County Hospital. Clay County Hospital and Clinics offer the best in services and care in the area with a staff that strives to provide the very best in patient-centered care. We offer full hospital services including radiology, therapy, surgery, labs, and emergency services. Our clinics located in Flora, Louisville, and Clay City allow us to reach out to Clay County residents so that you never have to go far from home for your healthcare needs. In addition to our regular provider staff, we also offer affiliated specialty provider services at our Flora clinic. Finally, have a minor injury or illness but don't want to wait for an appointment? Our walk-in, no-appointment clinic hours in Flora are Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. until 8 p.m., and Saturday from 8 a.m. until noon. Make Clay County Hospital your number one choice for healthcare, convenient and close to home.
Clay County Hospital, your number one choice in healthcare.
Welcome back. Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. I'm Bruce Dickey. My guest today is Mr. Larry Kramer. He's well, how long have you been in Florida? I was going to say world famous Flora banker, but are you world famous?
Oh, no.
No?
No, I've been here since September the 19th, 1977.
How do you know exactly the date?
You don't forget some days.
That was the day I presume you started.
That's the day I drove into Flora, Illinois. Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
From?
Well, actually, I was running a bank in Gillespie, Illinois at the time, and I thought my first order of business would be to come in town because we were organizing a new bank,
right,
and say hello to the existing banker, who at that time was Roger Wells, the president of the First National Bank of Flora.
How did that go? When I just wonder whenever you, granted, ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping into a conversation here because I'm interested. How does that go when you're coming into town saying, oh, yeah, we're forming a new bank, Mr. Wells. Thought I'd meet you and say hello.
Oh, well, that's a very good question. I don't mind telling you that I was ushered into his office.
Yeah.
And he was very cordial. He was a very cordial man. And I said, well, I'm the new guy on the block, you know, and I hope we get along fine. I said, one thing's for sure, when we open our doors and begin business,
right,
you will grow faster and make more money than you ever have before.
That's because competition is a good thing.
That was the thought in my mind.
Well, that's exactly right.
But I'm not sure he took it in exactly the same way. But Roger and I really got to be great friends. He was a tremendous Cub fan, you see.
Oh, I did not realize.
Oh, my goodness. There's many stories. But and then I kind of favored the Cardinals.
Oh, I see.
So we had a difference there.
A little clash once in a while. A friendly clash.
I think so.
Well, that's great. September 19th, 1977.
Uh-huh.
That was a little while ago.
Yeah.
Give me the Larry Kramer story. What we're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is he's performing. Are you performing, or are you just telling the story of Mr. Parsons?
I'm
Parsons?
presenting. Mr. General Lewis Baldwin Parsons at the Flora Library Thursday evening at 6:30 to hopefully bring people, raise their awareness of just how great this man was.
That's the thing. A lot of people, I admit fully, I do not recognize the level of gentleman that this fellow was and what he did for the United States during the war, before and after. Such a life needs to be remembered, doesn't it?
Well, it does. To study a person's life is interesting. To study a person's life like General Parsons is especially interesting because he was a great family man. He was a very, very well received in the state of Illinois, and then his national achievements during the Civil War are just over the top.
Right.
He performed some deeds that just, had not happened before, and his tireless energy and he was a leader of men.
Well, he must have been instrumental also then, since he lived in Flora the last 40 years of his life?
32 years.
32 years of his life. Had to be pretty instrumental in some of the building of early Flora in the late 19th and early 20th centuries.
Well, he was very active in this community.
Right.
He was very strong in the Presbyterian Church, very active in the community. He owned a business here called the Ebner...
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get to it. I want to know more about you before I get on to Mr. Parsons.
Okay.
Because I'm just meeting Mr. Kramer, I think, for the second time today. He thinks it's the first time. I must not have made a good impression about 20 years. I'll tell you when I think I met you. I think I met you at an auction. I want to say in Flora. There was some Civil War memorabilia. Maybe 20, 25 years ago. And Chris Dickey introduced me to a couple of her bosses. I believe you and Dennis Headley were both there. I may be incorrect about that, but I think that's correct.
Yes. And
is it coming back, or are you just making it up right now?
I understand.
You're making it up.
I can't let this pass. You just mentioned Dennis Headley.
Yes.
See, Dennis is a great study of history, too.
Right.
Now he favors the other side.
Well, it's like you and Mr. Wells.
Absolutely, yeah.
Friendly clashes.
But I think we get along fine.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's good. Where are you from originally? To make it into town 40 years ago, you must have started out somewhere.
Oh, gosh, I hopscotched around.
Did you really?
After graduating from Greenville College in 1963.
Right.
That was before you were born, right?
A little bit, not much.
Anyway, then I became a bank examiner for the Comptroller of the Currency and then the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
I can see that.
And after that, went into as a cashier and director of a little bank in Warren, Illinois, in Joe Daviess County.
Okay.
3 years later, I got to manage a bank called the Galena State Bank and Trust Company in Galena, Illinois. 3 years later, I went to the People's State Bank in Gillespie, Illinois.
Okay.
And from there, I launched over to Flora, and I stuck.
You see, you'd been bouncing around.
25 years then in Flora.
Well, that's wonderful.
And retired. So that's me.
Tell me, I got to know, I worked with the OCC for years. I was a compliance officer in Fairfield for 6, 7, 8 years. A loan review officer and compliance officer.
What years?
You weren't there. You weren't there. there. It was 89 till 97.
Oh, okay.
In Fairfield, the Fairfield National Bank. But what made you decide to leave the OCC? Because whenever I met an OCC, were you an examiner?
Yes.
When I met an OCC examiner, you could tell after about 5 or 10 minutes whether they thought they'd be there for the long haul and be a career OCC examiner or move up in the ranks, or whether that was basically a starting point for them to leave. They were wanting to learn the game. What made you leave the OCC?
Opportunity.
Really?
Oh, to make more money and to not travel quite so much.
Yeah, that was by the 90s, however, they'd already cut down to 4 days a week.
Yeah, well, I don't know about 4 days a week.
9 days out of 10. Let's put it that way.
Really?
Yeah, I think at least the ones we worked with. Now, so you would have. Let's see, you weren't working with the OCC. You'd have been working with the FDIC later on, weren't you?
I got out of the examining business about 1968.
I know, even though when you were a banker, you would have been working with the FDIC more than the OCC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't mean to make the whole show about you, because this is all about General Parsons.
Oh, absolutely.
I tell you what we'll do. We're going to take a short break. We're going to talk about General Parsons as well. You brought information and wanted to talk a little bit about George Rogers Clark, right?
Well, sure.
Because George Rogers Clark, of course, came across Route 50 right out there, right?
Absolutely.
Close.
You'll find a little difference of opinion. In fact, some of you all from south of here toward Fairfield, you may hold a different opinion.
I know there are folks who
trail
who think he came across.
But I have a story for that.
All right, that's good. Yeah. You folks, you're watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. My guest is Larry Kramer. We're going to come back. We're going to talk more about General Parsons, as well as get into where in the world George Rogers Clark cut across southern Illinois, just hacking at the prairie grass on his way through. Again, we'll be right back. You're watching on Wabash Catch TV in Salem on Channel 3. In Flora on Channel 100 and Channel 25. Also on YouTube at the Big Talk with Bruce Dickey channel. Do check any of those out at any time. You can always find us. We'll be back with more right after these.
It's my choice. It's my choice. It's my choice.
So many of our county residents have treatment or surgeries done at larger hospitals. What they don't always realize is that they have a choice to select where they can have physical therapy or any number of post-operative treatments and follow-ups. Clay County Hospital is your choice. Talk with your specialist, surgeon, or primary care provider and let them know that you want to stay close to family, friends, and most importantly, home.
Clay County Hospital, your number one choice in healthcare.
At Wabash Communications, our goal is simple: to keep people connected. And today we are doing just that, better than ever, by delivering the latest technology and personal service only a local provider can offer. We offer services anywhere from fast, reliable internet, TV services, and home monitoring solutions to crystal clear local and long-distance phone service. Wabash continues the commitment we started back in 1952, delivering a great connection to the most important people we know, our customers. So choose Wabash, the local service from people you can trust.
Heritage Woods of Flora offers cozy private apartments and personalized service plans for active seniors. Our affordable assisted lifestyle includes 3 meals every day, assistance with chores and medications, and a full calendar of social activities. At Heritage Woods, you can visit with friends, enjoy an evening of music, or play an afternoon of Wii bowling, all without leaving your home. We even have a beauty shop in-house. For more information, stop by 1003 West 4th Street or call Valerie at 618-662-4599.
Come see us at Anthony's Wild West in downtown Flora.
Enjoy salad, pizza, and pasta buffet 11 to 2 Monday through Saturday. Not hungry for pizza? Our menu features a variety of food for every taste.
Our dining room is large and spacious for 2 or a crowd. Let us help you host a private party in one of our banquet rooms. Visit the Fallout Shelter to have a drink with good friends. Then try your luck at one of our 5 gaming machines. See you soon in the Wild West.
Your call is very important to us. Please hold. Your call will be answered in the order order it was received.
Tired of paying a big faceless company for your local telephone service in Flora? Now you can easily switch your 662 telephone number to Wabash Communications in Flora. That's right, Wabash can now provide local phone service to the Flora area, and yes, you can keep your 662 telephone number. It's available to both business and residential customers. Call us today at 662-3636. Wabash, your local telecommunications provider.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Le Mans Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians, and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Le Mans always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at lemansonline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
I'm Brian. I was in the military for 18 years. I joined the service so I could serve my country and see the world. But I smoked, and I got heart disease. So a lot of the world I got to see looked like this. My tip is, it's hard to serve your country when you're too weak to put on your uniform.
And welcome back to Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. I'm talking here with Larry Kramer. He is a Civil War expert as well as an expert banker. We're not going to talk about banking anymore. We've had enough banking. See, like I told you, Larry, I try to get to the more interesting part. Banking, occasionally, to some people, it is tremendously interesting, but to others, it is not.
I understand that, having been around it a while.
And actually, that's one of the things. Whenever banking is boring, that's when it's successful.
Well, perhaps, yes.
That's what.
Oh, yes.
The more boring it is, the better you're doing.
Oh, yeah. No news is good news.
That's exactly right. Okay, tell me a little bit about your avocation and what got you into not only becoming, somehow you become a history buff. What was the first story that grabbed you and made you want to really dive in and pay attention to this kind of stuff?
The first is a little hard to pinpoint, but I would suggest that
one of the first ones that
the
made you
study of the Declaration of Independence and the books written about it and what people said about it, and that began to really interest me.
Really?
This document, the first of its kind ever in history, declaring all men equal,
right,
broke new ground, and it fascinated me. And why, and so you dive into the instrument and you learn about things like natural law and things like that. And it gets deeper and deeper, and you want to know why, and it keeps dragging you back in time to find out where the origins of these ideas are, and you learn more about more great thinkers and such. And so that study of wanting to know who I am, what do I believe, and why.
You started with the Declaration.
Started with the Declaration, and it just spreads like that.
I have a question then about the Declaration of Independence. I've always kind of looked at it as a document. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not about to say bad things about the Declaration. I've always kind of thought more of it, though. Or at the time, was it thought more of an airing of grievances against the tyrant king versus an actual statement of all men are created equal? Or how was it seen at the time? I thought, when you look at the English and how they received it, they thought it was an airing of grievances and they weren't happy about it, right?
I think it's both. You know that it was a letter to King George.
Right, that's what it is. It's a letter to the king.
That's what it was.
Get off our back.
Right, but it's so eloquently substantiated the reasons for it, and in that way was justifying their severance
Right.
from English rule and what a nation ought to be. And they did it very well. And they borrowed some ideas from
they borrowed some of the Greeks.
Greek philosophers, right, and that, John Locke. But really, it's the Scottish Enlightenment that you need to study.
Is that right?
To understand the American Enlightenment, you might say, or the American Revolution.
Scottish Enlightenment was the one in the 1300s, or the one in the...
It preceded rather closely. You know, we have the French Enlightenment, the French Revolution, the English Revolution, these Enlightenments, whatever.
Right.
But the leaders of the Scottish Enlightenment, and you need to study them, were actually the tutors.
Okay.
Of the founders of our country.
Really?
Yes.
Now that is a stretch to me.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of it that way, because the Tudors, you're looking, well, when they were in power in England was 1400, 1500, that area. And then they were deposed eventually, like by who came next, the Plantagenets, or the Plantagenets were before that?
You're an
Plantagenet
expert there.
before.
You're an expert there.
I'm not that good an expert or outsider.
Well,
okay, so I'll tell you what. Let's get back on track. The Declaration of Independence leads to the founding and forming of a nation that is tremendously successful, while growing, while having problems that the Declaration of Independence wasn't really intended to deal with. So you go to the Civil War.
Well, from the Declaration, we eventually have a Constitution, and concerning the Civil War, the Civil War is also called the Second American Revolution.
Right.
And that's because maybe there were a few things we needed to iron out.
Yeah, I guess so.
It wasn't politically possible at the time the Constitution was approved. They tried. Jefferson, who is accused of being a slave owner, for instance, was one person who was adamant about wanting to stop the slave trade at the time the Declaration was put together. So these things do coalesce into the United States American Civil War.
And this is what drove your avocation to the Civil War.
Yeah, the study of these things are tremendously interesting, but along the way you're continuing to find out more about yourself, more about the world around you, and why we are where we are and where we're going.
Now, when you look at the American Civil War, oh goodness, there are books more than could fill not just this room, that building, this entire block about the Civil War. You have to kind of specialize, because there are things that there's a rabbit hole in everything, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
You could go dive in and in and in. Yeah. The focus on Parsons. What happened to focus you on Parsons? Just because he was here?
Absolutely. He lived in Florida, Illinois. I wanted to know more about him. I'd already initiated quite a serious interest in American history.
Right.
And in the Civil War, as a matter of fact, a great friend of mine by the name of Nolan Brooks, bless his heart, he and I each October would get in the car and we would travel to a Civil War battlefield, and with a tour group and that.
You're a man after my own heart.
Oh, I just loved it. It was, and so he helped me tremendously. So as far as Parsons is concerned, you can't just pass him by. You have to say, whoa, we need to know more about this man. Mm-hmm. What all did he do? Well, he did a lot. Do
you feel like he has been a little bit
he's forgotten,
underestimated and forgotten?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Look at it this way. Picture in your mind an army.
Okay.
10,000, 20,000,
right.
40,000, I don't care. A lot of...
I'm thinking of General Meade.
Do you realize that the wagon train that supplied that army would sometimes be 20 miles long.
They would have
following
to be.
The Army.
Yeah, it would have to be.
How do you suppose all of the goods, supplies, and such got into those wagons?
You know, those guys, you're right. The guys who put together those supply trains, they don't get noticed, do they?
No.
They're not the ones.
How did they get them?
You got to get the supplies to the front, or everybody's going to die if you don't get supplies to the front.
How do you move a cannon and a caisson and such?
Well,
and they weigh a ton or so apiece.
Yeah, in the 1860s, presumably you'd need railroads.
All you got is horses.
Yeah, well, you don't have
mules.
Well, then you need a lot more mules.
But no, and the strength of the Northern Rail network eventually, the overall weight of the
moving
the resources
around. Right.
that they had, in addition to the boats, really you could make a great case for that was
what won the war.
They were going to supply their armies the best.
Yeah, and
with somebody like Parsons, who had the ability to manage all of that traffic. It's called logistics.
Right. That's right. Why did Parsons? How did Parsons get into the Army and become? Ended up becoming Major General. Right. What was he doing beforehand? Was he already deep into the railroads, or what was his entry?
Well, he became good friends with General McClellan.
Okay.
Who at the time they first met, McClellan was working for the Illinois Central Railroad.
Right.
Right over here at Centralia.
Okay, I didn't realize he was in Centralia. I thought it was up in
Well,
Peoria.
he was there at one time.
Okay.
But anyway, Illinois Central Railroad. So they become good friends. By this time, Parsons has reached that point where he's an attorney for a bank in St. Louis, and that law firm was involved in the construction of the Mississippi and Ohio Railroad, which we know as the B&O today.
Right.
It went from St. Louis to Cincinnati.
Okay.
And so he gets to the Civil War is going to start.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah,
it's 1861. It's coming.
Prior to the Civil War, after he graduated from Yale, he spent 2 years in the South teaching.
Oh, really?
Found out that he didn't like this thing called slavery down there, and left there to go to work. Finished his law degree and went to St. Louis area.
But then he'd probably also developed a little bit of an idea for the amount of for the infrastructure that they had in the South versus in the North.
Oh yeah, oh yes, he did. So he's a I would say he's a brilliant, smart, industrious lawyer.
So General McClellan brings him in.
Well, eventually when the war starts, because he and McClellan are friends, McClellan puts him on his staff. Well, that makes him a captain.
McClellan's bright.
Bingo, you're a captain.
He was bright.
You're on my, Well, that wasn't good enough for Parsons. After a while, he was sitting around. He said, I want active duty. I want to go out there in the field with
Well, that's the thing with General McClellan. A captain would have been just basically a staffer, probably would not have had his own group, his own division.
He hadn't found his niche yet.
Hadn't found his niche. We're going to talk more about this. We're going to speed him along speed General Parsons' life along, get to his flora stuff, and also we have pictures to show here although we have Parsons' barn. Nice. We'll look at all these things when we return. You're watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey again here on Wabash Catch TV, and Larry Kramer and I will be back very shortly. Do stick around.
Come see us at Anthony's Wild West in downtown Flora.
Enjoy salad, pizza, and pasta buffet 11 to 2 Monday through Saturday. Not hungry for pizza? Our menu features a variety of food for every taste.
Our dining room is large and spacious for two or a crowd. Let us help you host a private party in one of our banquet rooms. Visit the Fallout Shelter to have a drink with good friends. Then try your luck at one of our 5 gaming machines. See you soon in the Wild West.
I'm Brian. I was in the military for 18 years. I joined the service so I can serve my country and see the world. But I smoked, and I got heart disease. So a lot of the world I got to see looked like this. My tip is, it's hard to serve your country when you're too weak to put on your uniform.
Get what you want and nothing else when you order a la carte internet from Wabash Communications. Wabash Communications is now able to offer a la carte internet called broadband only with fast download and upload speeds, reliable service, and unlimited data usage. No phone services required for our broadband only plans. Our broadband only menu includes packages up to 1 gig download. Call us at 665-3311 now to order. Service availability and internet speed will depend on location. Contact us for details.
Welcome to Clay County Hospital. Clay County Hospital and Clinics offer the best in services and care in the area with a staff that strives to provide the very best in patient-centered care. We offer full hospital services including radiology, therapy, surgery, labs, and emergency services. Our clinics located in Flora, Louisville, and Clay City allow us to reach out to Clay County residents so that you never have to go far from home for your healthcare needs. In addition to our regular provider staff, we also offer affiliated specialty provider services at our Flora clinic. Finally, have a minor injury or illness but don't want to wait for an appointment? Our walk-in, no-appointment clinic hours in Flora are Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. until 8 p.m., and Saturday from 8 a.m. until noon. Make Clay County Hospital your #1 choice for healthcare, convenient and close to home.
Clay County Hospital, your #1 choice in healthcare.
Heritage Woods of Flora offers cozy private apartments and personalized service plans for active seniors. Our affordable assisted lifestyle includes 3 meals every day, assistance with chores and medications, and a full calendar of social activities. At Heritage Woods, you can visit with friends, enjoy an evening of music, or play an afternoon of Wii bowling, all without leaving your home. We even have a beauty shop in-house. For more information, stop by 1003 West 4th Street or call Valerie at 618-662-4599.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LaMonsOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
That's a big barn. That's a big barn. Welcome back to Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. My name is Bruce Dickey. Over here is Larry Kramer. We're talking about General Lewis Parsons, the namesake of the Flora Library. But a lot of folks around here may not realize just what Mr. Parsons did in and after World War II. How about Civil War? In and after the Civil War. Okay, he familiar. I did not. I asked you during the break, how did General Parsons come to settle in Flora, Illinois?
Okay, the war has been fought.
Okay.
It's over. He traveled all over the world.
Right. Well, he's a famous man. Successful, famous man.
And he had a very successful career. He made quite a few dollars. He was very generous with them. He gave them to schools, churches, everything. But why he came back here was, I think, from what I read, his health wasn't the best at that time. And
he had already been.
He was married 3 times.
He had already been in Florida, though, in his travels?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
He'd been back and forth because at the point, he owned, like I say, about 3,000 acres on the east side.
So he bought 3,000 acres before the war? Or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he came here after.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And he built actually this big 3-story house and full basement and this.
Is the house still standing?
House is gone. you could almost see the location from here. There's a man by the name of Joe Etchison, owns Etchison Appliance.
Right.
His home sets where the general's house was located. But he came back here after the war and basically got into full-time farming.
Oh, was that right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he didn't slow up.
Yeah. Well, he's 50. He's in his late 50s.
Never did slow up. And like I said, he was married 3 times. His first 2 wives died, and he married another lady. She lived till 18. Ooh, boy, I don't have that in front of me. But,
this is the picture. This is from a photo, I guess, right? This would be a print from a photo of General Parsons during the war.
That actually, excuse me, that's actually the artist Stan Novak.
Oh, really? Yes.
Took out of a publication an actual photograph, and then he made that.
Okay.
He was a very good artist.
That's correct. So that would have been prior to him. May I see the other picture too? Let's show what he. That would be circa.
This would be around 1900, probably.
It's around 1900 of General Parsons in Flora and his time at Flora. So that. You mentioned his jutting jaw, didn't you?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
He's a man of he's got a genuinely powerful countenance, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and he had to have because he directed unbelievable resources during the war. Unbelievable.
Well, that's the thing when you talk about the amount of resources that he had in this day and age. We just don't really understand the volume. Unless you've really studied it, the amount that went into to winning the Civil War.
No, I have reports here that I could cite you to give you some idea of the tonnage.
I imagine it's
the animals, the hay, the supplies, the feed, the soldiers.
Well, yeah, he was moving soldiers around too.
Yes.
Let alone he was whenever a general would give an order or the president would give an order, we need X number of soldiers from here to there.
Oh.
He was the one who got that done.
Yeah. Well, we must talk about his abilities in that regard because he's largely known by the tremendous amount of ability to move troops.
Really?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I must go into that before we finish today.
You better hurry. Because I want you to tell his hog story too.
Well, we can throw that in pretty well anyway.
Okay.
Let me just focus on this a minute. Here, he made this report.
Okay.
In February of 1865.
Okay.
After he had just completed this Herculean task.
What task was that? This
was the movement of the 23rd Army Corps of General Schofield.
Okay.
From Clifton on the Tennessee River to the Potomac River.
That's a move.
And
that's a pretty good. That's 600-700 mile move right there.
Yeah, that was an Army Corps of 10,000 plus men.
Right.
And it was done in January. It was cold, freezing. The rivers were bad.
No battles at that point. Right. That's when they're not.
And he moved this 1,400 miles.
Whew.
And he did it in 11 days.
He must have had some railroads working.
Yes.
they weren't all shut down.
The railroads, he used both the railroads and the rivers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you'd have to.
I direct our attention to an article in the New York Times.
Uh-huh.
If we have a moment.
Go ahead.
In the New York Times, and this was in 1865.
Yeah.
In July 31st, 1865, and they're writing an article about Parsons.
Okay.
The enormous capability of the United States for war was forcibly set forth at a meeting of the alumni at Yale the other day. And an address was given by a General Lewis Baldwin Parsons. No officer of the United States Army could speak with a more correct knowledge than did General Parsons of the numbers and efficiency of the armies of the Union, for no one perhaps had more experience than he in their organization, substance, and handling. So
this is from the New York Times. So I mean,
New York Times, and it goes on to say if Secretary Stanton, who was very easy to anger, if Secretary Stanton were called to name the officer that more than any other had distinguished himself in the task of wielding the vast machinery of the Union armies during all the stages of the conflict in response to the plans and requirements of our generals, he would with little hesitation designate General Lewis B. Parsons of St. Louis.
Well, how about that? And this man is one of Florida's finest citizens following the war. That's
absolutely
outstanding.
Yes.
That's outstanding.
That's you can't just pitch that aside.
Well, you see, now that's your point. That is your point indeed, in that he is not as well remembered as he should be.
Yeah. Well, I have a letter from General Grant.
What did General Grant say to General Parsons?
Do we have time?
Yeah, then we'll take a break.
All right. This is addressed to Brigadier General Lewis B. Parsons, Quartermaster. I've long contemplated writing you and expressing my satisfaction with the manner in which you have discharged the very responsible and difficult duties of Superintendent of River and Railroad Transportation for the armies both in the West and the East.
Well, you see, that's a large area.
This position is second in importance to no other connected with the military service, and to have been appointed to it at the beginning of a war of the magnitude and duration of this one, and holding it to its close, providing transportation for whole armies, with all that appertains to them, for thousands of miles, adjusting accounts involving millions of money, and doing justice to all, never delaying for a moment any military operation dependent upon you, meriting and receiving the commendation of your superior officers and the recognition of government, for integrity of character and for the able and efficient manner in which you have filled it, evinces an honesty of purpose, knowledge of men, business intelligence, and executive ability of the highest order, and of which any man might be justly proud.
That is a compliment. My goodness. Wow. General Grant, unbelievable. That's outstanding. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back, talk a little bit more about the General Parsons. I also want to talk about George Rogers Clark when we return. My guest here is Larry Kramer, and we'll be right back. He's got a show coming up, a presentation on Thursday night at the Flora Library, at the Parsons Library, and he'll be talking about this and much more. We'll be right back right after these on Big Talk with Bruce Dickey.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
Come see us at Anthony's Wild West in downtown Flora.
Enjoy salad, pizza, and pasta buffet 11 to 2 Monday through Saturday. Not hungry for pizza? Our menu features a variety of food for every taste.
Our dining room is large and spacious for two or a crowd. Let us help you host a private party in one of our banquet rooms. Visit the Fallout Shelter to have a drink with good friends. Then try your luck at one of our 5 gaming machines. See you soon in the Wild West.
Welcome to Clay County Hospital. Clay County Hospital and Clinics offer the best in services and care in the area with a staff that strives to provide the very best in patient-centered care. We offer full hospital services including radiology, therapy, surgery, labs, and emergency services. Our clinics located in Flora, Louisville, and Clay City allow us to reach out to Clay County residents so that you never have to go far from home for your healthcare needs. In addition to our regular provider staff, we also offer affiliated specialty provider services at our Flora clinic. Finally, have a minor injury or illness but don't want to wait for an appointment? Our walk-in, no-appointment clinic hours in Flora are Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. until 8 p.m., and Saturday from 8 a.m. until noon. Make Clay County Hospital your number one choice for healthcare, convenient and close to home.
Clay County Hospital, your number one choice in healthcare.
Your call is very important to us. Please hold. Your call will be answered in the order it was received.
Tired of paying a big faceless company for your local telephone service in Flora? Now you can easily switch your 662 telephone number to Wabash Communications in Flora. That's right, Wabash can now provide local phone service to the Flora area, and yes, you can keep your 662 telephone number. It's available to both business and residential customers. Call us today at 662-3636. Wabash, your local telecommunications provider.
Heritage Woods of Flora offers cozy private apartments and personalized service plans for active seniors. Our affordable assisted lifestyle includes 3 meals every day, assistance with chores and medications, and a full calendar of social activities. At Heritage Woods, you can visit with friends, enjoy an evening of music, or play an afternoon of Wii bowling, all without leaving your home. We even have a beauty shop in-house. For more information, stop by 1003 West 4th Street or call Valerie at 618-662-4599.
I'm Brian. I was in the military for 18 years. I joined the service so I could serve my country and see the world. But I smoked, and I got heart disease. So a lot of the world I got to see looked like this. My tip is, it's hard to serve your country when you're too weak to put on your uniform.
Welcome back. Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. I'm Bruce Dickey, joined here by Larry Kramer. We're talking about General Lewis Parsons, and before I wanted to get to George Rogers Clark and his path, maybe, through Southern Illinois. Before we get to that, you had a good story you were wanting to mention about General Parsons and his dotage as a farmer.
Well, okay, this event happened while they were building the railroad between St. Louis and Cincinnati, when he was out here on a horse supervising operations.
So this is before he'd moved back?
Yeah, this was even before the war.
I see.
Okay. So the foreman of the crew he was talking with one day, and he said, you know, I've never been deer hunting. I'd like to go deer hunting. Can you take me deer hunting?
Really?
And so this man said...
I wonder where he was from that he wouldn't have gone deer hunting.
I don't know.
He's a city boy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, I do know. But anyway, the foreman said, sure, take you deer hunting. So they took off together.
Oh, I'm sorry. Parsons had never been deer hunting?
Parsons had never been
deer
hunting.
I thought it was the other fellow and Parsons too.
Oh, no.
Okay,
No.
I misunderstood.
No, I apologize.
So Parsons had never been deer hunting. I understand.
So they take off to go deer hunting.
All right.
And after a while, they say, you know, we'd probably do better if we just separate, you know. So they each went their separate ways. And this is recorded, by the way, in the history of Clay County. That's where it comes from, the story. But anyway, after a while of walking, the person who worked for Parsons heard a shot.
Nice.
And so he rushed over there to where well, at that time, Parsons was at, and he looked down and he saw what the general had shot, and the general said,
nice big white-tailed buck.
Oh, gosh, he says, Parsons says, I think I shot a sorrel hog.
A sorrel hog?
Well, anyway.
So it was a red hog.
It wasn't a deer.
Yeah.
Okay. So the funny part about it is he said, well, now, he was a little embarrassed.
I suspect.
So he kind of asked the person if maybe he would, they could continue to hunt. Maybe we can find one. Well, they eventually did find a deer, but he had this gentleman be sure and not mention the incident to anybody. And he felt kind of, but anyway, in every man's life, there's a story, you know. So he
felled a sorrel hog.
He called it a sorrel. It must have been a little reddish colored or something.
Well, you know, that's the thing. Bacon might have been better than venison, though. However, although if it's a wild hog, the bacon might not have been very good.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's great.
No.
Okay, in addition to General Parsons, you're going to speak a little bit about George Rogers Clark on Thursday night, right?
Well, I'm going to mention this in connection with the Flora Depot.
Okay.
If I can put a word in here and bring it together.
Please do.
There is a statue at our Flora Depot of George Rogers Clark.
Yes, sir.
There is a museum inside the depot.
Right. Gorgeous place.
Yes. And all of this is possible because of 4 people.
Tell me.
Jack and Bonnie Thatcher and Ron and Mary Ann Ayers are like a fearless foursome.
Right.
They, through perseverance, dedication of resources and time and that, over the years, they saved the depot. So
I know that. I've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
It was
they
closed
saved the depot.
Not quite decrepit, but on its way.
George Rogers Clark and his story is part of our depot.
Right.
And so I just want to give a special thanks and accolade to those people as we talk about George Rogers Clark, because we wouldn't probably be here doing this if it wasn't for them.
No, that's certainly. Yeah, that's for certain.
But anyway, George Rogers Clark, in 1778 and 1779, made a journey across this part of the country from Kaskaskia on the Mississippi over to Vincennes, Indiana, made 2 trips.
As part of the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, during the Revolutionary War, and because he did this and captured the fort in Vincennes, Fort Sackville, and that he had already occupied Kaskaskia and Cahokia. After the Revolutionary War, when the Treaty of Paris was being signed, the British had to accede or give up their claim to the territory, meaning the states of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois,
the Northwest Territory,
Wisconsin, and part of Minnesota became part of the United States.
And George Rogers Clark was he's probably the ruler of it by practical purposes.
Well,
ruling nothing. I mean, there wasn't much to rule.
Under the auspices of Patrick Henry, he made that expedition.
Right.
Who was governor of Virginia at the time.
Well, yeah, we were part of Virginia at the time, I guess. At least down here, right?
This part was. So, anyway, the importance of Clark it overshadows which trail did he take.
I can't believe that we're just now getting this and I'm running out of time.
But our guy Harley Bonham, using the diaries of Captain Bowman, who was part of the expedition, and Clark's, put this together. And he sat down and was interviewed years ago, and this is his interview.
That's outstanding. And that will be viewable, I guess, on Thursday night. You might be able to find it Thursday night. Again, Larry Kramer will be down at the library Thursday night at
6:30.
6:30. Do try to see him there. That should be a outstanding time. Thanks very much for watching Big Time.